into the ocean. It's just this oceanic process, and every part of you that's separate just gets beaten and pulverized until it becomes part of the ocean. There are moments when you come up for air, but that only makes you more desperate. There's a maximum rate at which you can go in spiritual work without breaking. If you try too hard or get pushed too hard, you get tossed out and land on the beach. And then you may be stuck, sort of rotting in the sand, until the next big tide comes, picks you up again, and takes you back out to pulverize you some more. The tide and the ocean is gone. It's the ocean of bliss. Pain and pleasure come together at that point, because it can be painful, but the bliss of getting free is very great too. We're used to pain not being productive, but when it's that blissful, it's delicious. You're giving up stuff that is so connected to the root of your worldly identity that it's like a death. You go through some of the same things people go through when they are physically dying. Denial, anger, resentment. Why is it happening to me? Or, can I bargain my way out of it? First come depression and despair, then surrendering to the situation, and finally, the lightness of a new state of being. The image of the ocean and the rocks is one way of thinking about it. Fire is a good metaphor too. You are in the fire, knowing the only part of you that won't be burned by this fire is the part that is in God. Everything else will go. You realize how much you are attached to everything. Your thoughts, your senses, those have to go too. Remember that mantra? I am a point of sacrificial fire, held within the fiery will of God. At first, I kept a diary of my experiences at Kenchi, but after a while I stopped making entries. What do you do with these experiences? Do you just collect them, file them, and plug them into your model, your same old world view? Or do you work with each experience, squeezing it like a lemon, and then discard it and let it go? If you keep letting go, then you notice it's all new every moment. When Balaram Das, one of the Westerners with Maharaj Ji, used to be sent away by Maharaj Ji, he'd walk around the back of the temple and come in the other door. Each time Maharaj Ji treated him as if he was just coming in. I thought, Maharaj Ji is being kind. But it was also a beautiful example of letting go and starting fresh. Balaram is a good teaching in that sense. I wish I had his total one-pointed chutzpah. I am too smart for my own good. I'm too clever, not simple enough. He's simple in his devotion, in his love, in the intensity of his desire. That can get you a long way, that kind of devotion. Everything a guru does in relation to other souls is part of that process of liberation. You might not even notice a guru in the street unless it is helpful to your spiritual growth. Even when you're sitting in the back row or seeming to be ignored, that is the optimum thing for you at that moment. The full consciousness of the guru is with you from the moment you turn to him or her. You crave to be in as pure a relationship to the guru as the guru is to God. There's a moment, like an initiation or an opening, when the guru shows you who they are. Maharaj Ji opens his eyes, and in an instant you see the universe. Then he closes his eyes, and you're back. Or Krishna showing Arjuna his universal form. It's like taking acid. As Maharaj Ji said of LSD, it allows you to have the darshan of Christ. It's that first thing that compelled all of us to go on. But then you have to come back, do your work, and go become it. The only way you can get that purity is to let go of your impurities. It's a two-stage thing. First, the guru shows you who he or she is, really who you are reflected in the guru. And then the guru sends you back to finish your work. Guru's Grease, the path of grace. You can't integrate the guru in your mind. You can't understand a perfected being. You can only use that being for your own perfection, and eventually become that place, that state of consciousness yourself. If you want to come to God, the guru becomes the perfect instrument for getting you there. Gurus have no other motivation. That's the only reason they are even in our field of view.